Hello there. Let's see. It's this. Oh no, January. January. I was gonna say December. January 12th, 2016, and I'm looking at my wall of fame over there, and something I don't look at too much. But let's see. We got Larry Sanders Show. Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorites. Mick Jagger and David Bowie. Oh yes, David Bowie. So I wasn't sure because it's been a while since I looked at it. And I'll go back to my favorite seat in the universe, my bed. Um, okay, where did we leave off? Oh, okay, David Bowie. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I had him up there because it's been so long since I looked up at the Wall of Fame. But yeah, he's definitely there, and so the Ramones. Um, anybody? Um, Sadly, we did lose another rock icon, legends, whatever superlative you want to describe David Bowie with. He definitely um, is that, and probably a million times cooler. Or what I don't know. I don't know. What is there to say about David Bowie? Um, I first became aware of Mr. David Jones, who had to change his name because of that silly monkey, the guy there, Davy Jones. But David Jones, I first became aware of David Jones. Um, Actually, it's a little sad, but after my brother had passed away, I was only about 8 years old, and I had this big box of 8-track tapes and an 8-track player next to my bed, and a lot of those tapes were his, and like that's how where when you're 8 years old, you don't have many memories, especially where he was living in New York at the time, and he was 21, and I knew what he's just out trying to figure out what they were about and whatever, and what I had left was his record collections and 8 tracks, and David Bowie and Lou Reed and all these great at the Who and the Stones, and that's what I was really into, and with the big headphones and the 8 tracks, and you could skip the tracks, and um, when all the chaos was going on, especially in this house, after that all happened, to escape all that, I put my headphones on, and I used to call it Major Tom, and it was just really soothing and relaxing, calm me down, and it's funny the things you remember, and it's a nice memory to have, and I'd feel connected, almost like I guess you could look back now and say it was like a cosmic thing, that I was listening to the same stuff that he was listening to, so that kind of made me feel like that I was cool or whatever, because I certainly wasn't getting that vibe around Roslindale or West Roxbury, that's for damn sure. Um, you know, I still don't, but that's a whole different story. But back to Mr. Bowie. Um, yeah, I mean, definitely what a creative life, and definitely a creative uh, legend. And I know he was an artist as well, and I've never really got into his paintings or whatever. It's funny though, a lot of these people that you find out, later on, they were all, not only were they doing what they were doing, whether it was musically or, um, athletically or whatever, they were also like painting, and like, you're just like, I didn't know that that person was a painter. So, um, you know, um, I was thinking that too. It's like I just got a guitar, and I'm like, I'm kind of a little late to the dance, but hey, why better late than ever, Why not try to expand on? I think we all have a creative side, and I wrote something about that earlier today about how people just, you have such an open slate with Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and it's all the same blah bull crap with memes and stuff, and I'll put a meme up now, but I like it to be something that's worth looking at, and not just something that like just sets a bleh, boring bullshit. But um, you know, so back to let's get back to Bowie. It always turned into what I, my own thing, but I just loved the whole, I have a story about Bowie. I was with this kid, this really crazy kid in my 20s. I used to hang out with and drink with and stuff. And so we're, we're driving around town. It's in the middle of the afternoon, and that song China Girl comes on. And so, and I see a Chinese girl walking down the street. I go, hey, Mikey, Mike, why don't you blast China Girl? Um, so he turned and he had this stereo that you could hear like 3 blocks, 3 blocks away when he pulled. Like I knew when he would leave his house to come pick me up, I'd hear the stereo blast, and you get in the car and you couldn't even talk to him because he had the stereo blasting. So we were driving around the financial district in the middle of the afternoon, drinking beers, and he's got a China girl blasting. And then the part, oh baby, just you shut your mouth, and he yells it out the window to her. Oh my God! I mean, just some of the things, and yeah, I know it's not a very nice story, and hopefully that woman has recovered. I don't think she knew that Mikey was stalking her, but I have no idea where Mikey is these days. I'm sure he's matured. Nah, I'm not sure about that at all, actually. He could be dead for all I know. But that's my David Bowie. And I didn't even think of that until I started talking about that. I mean, if you just know, I mean, it's the middle of the day, and we're drinking beers and we're driving around downtown Boston, and he's blasting China Girl. Yeah. Anyway, that was that crazy story. But you know, at least in this case, a legend died of natural causes and not by drugs or anything crazy. Like it's just a shame. However, you have to go. I mean, such a limited amount of time that we do have. If we can kind of avoid all the shortcuts as far as substances and whatever, because I mean, ultimately if you can get through everything with a clear head, the good and the bad, it just makes you stronger in the end, and then you can pass on the knowledge that you have of maybe the things that you did go through. Not by far was I ever any sort of rock star or whatever, but there's enough experiences that I do have that I can help people not have to go through some of those experiences, especially that China girl story is not something, I mean, how many different ways that could have ended badly, but it's still funny. But, the things you do when you're young, you just shake your head at. But the finality of throwing something into your body and just ending it when there's just so much more that you can experience and then look back at that stuff with perspective of maybe not so much wisdom but just say boy what a knucklehead. And then but when you're doing things that are just extremely destructive and then you just don't have the chance to even get it and attempt to rewrite the whatever the script is. All right, I'm babbling here, but anyway, so David Bowie, you will be missed, and the reason I do these things is because that's actually my creative side would be to leave something when I'm gone that's more than just not a box of 8-track tapes, but actually a visual extravaganza of moi talking about legends. So that's my little tribute to Bowie, and um, you know, just great music, and God, like I said, said to somebody, you're taking Scott Weiland this year, and you're taking David Bowie. Can we kind of like even out the ledger here, and maybe grab one of the One Direction kids, or better yet, Justin Bieber, please, come on, we can make amends. I've made amends. You can stop making amends too. That might be a good start. All right, I'm done. Adios.